Wow. Was that something? Join me in thanking the Alumni Worship Band. These folks are all alumni of IW. Wow. Thank you. And I want to add my welcome to those that are here visiting us from the 50th, I think 55th and 60th year reunions. And we have a couple of special members of the 50-year reunion class right down in the front row, and we want to give a special thanks to them, Dr. John and Patty Bray. Thank you so much for being here with us. You all look like you're enjoying standing up, but you may be seated. Today we're going to honor our newest alumni world changer. The Indiana Wesleyan University Alumni World Changer Award was established in 2012 by the IW Board of Trustees to honor an alumnus who has made or is making a significant difference in his or her corner of the world. Whether in the marketplace or on the mission field, IW World Changers are people who influence and impact others through servant leadership. Our hope is that their stories will inspire our current students to make a difference wherever God places you. IW Alumni World Changers are ordinary people who have done extraordinary things with their lives and the talents that God has given them. Let me quickly share with you the previous recipients. Cheryl Marie Beckett was our first Alumni Award winner, and Beckett Hall is named for her. Howard Noggle, Doris Wall, Dr. Charles Duvall, Francis Mustafa, Dr. David Blanchard, Dr. Darrell Herman, Dr. Marvin Hines, one of our own faculty from many years ago, the Reverend Dr. Kevin Myers, Drs. Wilbur and Ardelia Williams, two of our now departed faculty, and our own Dr. Jerry Pattengale. This year's recipients is a couple, Gary Ott with a Bachelor of Science in Business and Economics from the class of 1974, and Connie Kramer Ott, his lovely wife, with a Bachelor of Science in Sociology, also back in 1974. Let's welcome them to the stage. When Gary and Connie met at Marian College as freshmen, it changed their lives. Early in their marriage, they committed themselves to changing the lives of generations of Indiana Wesleyan University students. After serving as a military pilot, Gary set his sights on a career in aviation. Instead, he yielded what he felt was God's call to care for the elderly. And that's part of the reason that they are now our Alumni World Changers. They have made it their goal to treat the people in their facilities as if they were their own parents. He has served for 35 years as CEO of a healthcare company that has employed over 2,800 people. Connie has served beside him as an advocate for the patients. The Otts have invested time, talent, and treasure in the lives of many individuals and institutions. Please help me welcome them again.
Thank you, Scott. I want to thank Dr. Kalaga and the board of directors, esteemed faculty here, and you, the students, for this great honor. It is a great honor that you bestowed upon us, and we're very humbly appreciative of it, especially when we hear the names that are on it with us. We don't feel like we're in that category there quite. We've been taking care of people in nursing homes for the last 32 plus years. And it's been a joy and a privilege to walk people through the last days of their life. My vice presidents and people that work with me are sitting right here, my family. They all work with us in the nursing home, and we wouldn't be able to do it without them doing what they do, and I thank them for that. The nursing homes are like God's waiting room for heaven, right? And we help people walk through those tough times. And we have one here on campus, it's Cloney Oaks. And we had the sacred privilege, because it's so close, that we have had many of our professors that taught us here at IWU in our nursing home. We could walk them through those last few days of their life. And what a privilege that's been for us. But when I look at World Changer, I think, oh, it's a big world out there. and I'm just a little person. And I want to tell you, it's a small world. You can get anywhere in the world in hours, and you can call anywhere in the world within seconds. And Connie and I sponsored an orphanage over in Ukraine, and last year the director of the Ukraine orphanages came into our home and visited with us with one of the orphans, a young man that's really achieved a lot. He actually even has a degree in college now. And we were talking about how the orphanage is doing, not knowing that 2 months later, after we had our talk, they'd be in the middle of a war. And during the war, we would be on the phone talking to them, and what's going on. They show us pictures of how a missile hit the orphanage and how the house next door got blown away. But we prayed and with them, and I just talked to them this last week. I said, how's it going? What can we do for you guys? And they said, well, the supply chain is doing well. We're getting food and all that. We don't need any more of that. But I tell you what we do need. We need your help for mental health problems that we have. We need mental health care real badly. So I challenged right away Dr. Lori Reeves, the professor here at Indiana West. I said, develop a curriculum that can handle and diagnose PTSD and how to care for these people who are going through this. And so I've challenged her, and I'm hoping that she will come up with that. I would like to go to Ukraine with you, Indiana Wesleyan World Changers, and we train the trainer. We have a conference of 200-300 people, and we train them how to recognize people that have PTSD and how to treat them for that. Does that sound like something we could do? Yeah, let's do that. I'm all for it. I want to end with this, another little illustration of a small world. I taught leadership with John Maxwell in the Philippines. And in the teaching of leadership, I use nursing home illustrations a lot. And so a lady came up to me after one of the sessions and said, you know, we had this missionary over here in the Philippines, and we loved her. She's just a great dear lady, and she retired, and now she's in a nursing home in the United States. I wonder if she's in one of yours. And I go, well, there's like thousands of them. I don't think so. But what is her name and what nursing home is she in? And she said, well, her name, and then she said, she's in Albany Healthcare Center, Albany, Indiana. I go, that's one of ours. I can't believe it. That's one of ours. So I take this lady's picture right away, and I said, I got to get back and tell this lady, tell me all the stuff that's going on in the mission field, and I got to get back and tell her. So I did that. We came back, and Connie and I went to Albany Healthcare Center, and we went in to her room, and she sat there. She looked like one of thousands that we take care of. No special difference between anybody else. She was alone, quiet, sitting in her wheelchair when we went in. And I said, introduced myself, said, hey, I've just met somebody in the Philippines that knows you. And it was like a light bulb went off, and she just lit up, says, I was a missionary in the Philippines. So I told her how the work's going on and how it's going and all the people that she knew, and we had a great fellowship. And she says, let me tell you my story. And her story blew us away that day. She started out as a missionary in Spain, and then she went to Cuba and was a missionary in Cuba until Castro kicked her out. And I was like, wow, she's a bold lady. If she could stand up, and Castro, what did she do that Castro kicked her out, you know? And then she said, I went on from there. I went to Vietnam. I was a missionary in Vietnam. And I was on the last flight out of Da Nang when the Viet Cong took over. And I'm like, whoa, she's also fearless. This lady's fearless. She could have left earlier, but she stayed till the last flight out of Vietnam. And then she went to the Philippines, and there they had a lot of problems going on there, and she had to help change and turn it around. And I thought, wow, she's persevered also. I said, well, we're so glad to meet you, and we left, and she thanked us. And the next week, we were back in my office, and somebody told me, says, you know that lady just died this week? And Connie said to me, she says, you know, I think maybe God used you as a messenger to tell his worn-out servant, you know, the work that you did is fruitful, and you're done. Your work is completed. Now come on home with me. What a great story that is. And it changed the way I look at people in our, I mean, we have 3,000 residents in our nursing homes. And I would go up and down that hallway many a times and look at her, and she would just be that little old lady in room 201, okay? But that changed me. I realized that everybody has a story to tell everywhere. So every one of my residents has a story to tell. And people all around you have stories. There could be other students here on campus. They have stories to tell too. How about your coworkers? They have stories to tell too. And people out in Marion, they have stories to tell too also. And if we take the time to listen to those stories, maybe we'll get a chance to help change their world. Thank you very much for giving us this great honor.